Yo, so the brand new aura bag has just come out. I just stopped streaming and the update just came out, and so basically there is a new aura bag and you can ooh, it looks like you can add favorites. This is super cool, man. I'm so excited about this. Like maniacal, runic, dark magic, supreme brawler, berserker, and sharpshooter, and reckless added to my favorites. And all of these auras are found on your the interface that has like your character at the bottom by your tool belt. You click it and you can go to combat and you can extend auras from here. That's so awesome. When I logged out, I was mid maniacal and it's on cooldown now, so cool, I can do another hour. But you activate it through here now. They're no longer in your bank, and so I guess you can add which ones you want to your favorite, and if you have Viswax in your bank, you can extend them from this interface instead of physically using Viswax on them. I don't know how you would reset with the new aura, the Helion aura. I don't know how you would even do that now. It's interesting. So if I were to reset an aura, how the hell would I do that? Ah, so you right click Helion aura now and click reset aura. You've already recharged an aura today. So I guess you can right click that and pick which one you want to. And so I'm going to go into a time lapse and talk about these bolts now, because there are some brand new bolts into the game and I'm going to go over those. And I don't believe that the new magic ability is out yet from the Shattered World shop. So I will get into that next. As soon as it comes out, I'll figure out about that, and I probably will be grinding some Shattered Worlds this week probably on stream, honestly. So I'm gonna hop onto my Iron Man and do some rune span, and I'm gonna time lapse it while I read over this update about the bolts, and we'll talk about the numbers and stuff. So I'll see you on the flip side, boys. Okay, so I'm going to go through all the bolts backwards, starting with Hydrix and going down all the way to Opal. First of all, you can now tip Backramental bolts with any one of the 11 gems, then enchant said gem to get the correlating effect. The new best in show bolts in the game, with tier 95 damage and level 99 ranged requirement to equip them. I'm going to jump right into the bolts and effects, starting with Hydrix and ending with Opal. Hydrix tipped Backramental bolts is going to take level 99 fletching to make, and the effect is Death Mark. It's called Death Mark. 10% chance to instantly provide 10% adrenaline and an additional 1% adrenaline from basic abilities for 15 seconds. That sounds awesome, and I guess it's sort of like the Impatient perk, but with bolts and proccing for up to 15 seconds. And the next ones are Onyx, and the effect is Life Leech. 10% chance to heal up to 25% of damage potential, capping at 2.5k, and dealing 25% more damage. Onyx sounds great, but I've got my eyes on a lower gem that seems like it's going to be more OP, in my opinion. Moving on, Dragonstones. The effect is going to be called Dragon Breath. It's going to give you a 5% chance to hit your opponent a second time for 25% of your current attack as Dragonfire. Dragons are those under Dragonfire protection and will be immune to this effect. The next bolt is Diamond, or the next gem is Diamond, and the effect is Armor Piercing. 5% chance to hit with 100% accuracy and deal up to 15% more damage. The next ones are the Ruby gems, and this one seems like one of the most DPS increases of all the bolts. The effect is called Blood Forfeit. 5% chance to deal more damage, or 5% chance to deal damage worth 20% of your enemy's life points, while also dealing 10% of your own life points to yourself. So kind of like the ability that is Tendrils. So it's going to drain some of your health, but the damage dealt to players in PvP is going to cap at 3,000 damage. And for NPCs, the percentage of damage dealt scales down linearly as the NPC loses health, capping at 10,000 damage and 12,000 damage for critical hits. Furthermore, the chance to trigger this effect lowers by 1% for every 1 million of the NPC's remaining health, capping at a minimum of 1%. So, these ruby bolts seem insanely overpowered and would be crazy for chinning at AoD and for ranging racks and probably a lot more. I think these could be the most OP, but as the boss or NPC's health drops, the percent to proc does as well, so keep that in mind. The next on the list is Emerald. The effect is called Magical Poison. 55% chance to poison your enemy for 4% of your weapon damage. That seems like a huge chance to poison. And the next gem is going to be a Sapphire gem. The effect is called Clear Mind. 5% chance to steal 5% of your maximum prayer points for your opponent. And that sounds super OP for like AFKing like God Wars Dungeon 1 or maybe some Slayer or lower tier bosses. This could keep you soul splitting for longer and more efficiently. And the next gem is going to be Pearl. The effect is called Sea Curse. 5% chance to perform 15% more damage to enemies that are weak to water. Performs 15% less damage on enemies that are weak to fire. And it also stops enemies from running in PvP combat. So that could be cool as well. And moving on, the Red Topaz is the next gem. The effect is called Down to Earth. These bolts have a 5% chance to reduce your opponent's magic level by 2 and damage by 1%. Caps at 10 levels and 5% damage. The next gem is Jade Gems, and the effect is called Earth's Fury. 5% chance to stun your opponent for 4.8 seconds and only binds in PvP. So this would be good for all you out there that are into warbands and PvPing in RuneScape 3. And so the last bolts on the gem, or the last gems on the list is the Opal Gems, and the effect is called Lucky Lightning, and it's going to have a 5% chance to perform 10% more damage. And so I think these bolts are super cool, and I'm going to go into a clip about me. Basically, I bought a few off the GE and stuff, and so I'm going to roll right into that clip. And if you would like more information about these bolts, I'm going to link the update in the description. I mean, it is just on the RuneScape website, the homepage. So if you want to read more about them, I'm going to leave that in the description. So Backramental bolts are tradable. I'm going to put an offer in for like 2k for one of them, see what they sell for. They don't. I don't think there are any in the game yet. I don't know, man. To like 50k for one bolt. It's gotta sell. Sold for 3,000 coins. Okay. Backramental bolt. 3k each. Buy like 100, 200. Get like 400. Hell yeah. Okay. So I just went over all of the tips that are addable to the bolts and their effects. So I'm going to pull out these Hydrix bolt tips. And Hydrix are 99 fletching to tip. Rip. Because I am 98. Let me get Onyx out. Or actually, Ruby. Because Ruby, honestly, I'm super excited about the Ruby ones. They seem incredibly OP. 100. Get like 100 of those, see if they sell. Awesome, they sold instantly. 240 XP per 10. Busted. And to enchant ruby, you need no. Fire Cosmic Blood. Let's see, do I have any cosmics? No, I don't. These are level 90, and then I think whenever you enchant them, I don't know how much it goes up. I really don't. So enchant ruby. Why the hell not? Oh, doing the wrong one. XD. So not very much XP, but they added the effect and they're level 99 once they're enchanted. And so that is super awesome. This is how you're going to enchant all of these new bolts. It looks like pretty good XP in fletching and magic if you are looking to get more XP. So basically I have to go back to Araxor and grind to get, I'm gonna have to grind to get some Ascension crossbows so I can test these bolts, but I will be back with a video about testing these bolts out. And honestly, give me some feedback and let me know which bolts that you guys are most interested in. The ones that I'm most interested in are the ruby ones because of the damage buff, and the onyx ones maybe because of the buff of healing off of those. Seems really awesome. Maybe the dragon stones would be cool. The ones that steal prayer, whichever ones those would be really cool to test. So let me know what you guys think, and if you enjoyed this, go ahead and subscribe and give me a like. And I will be back soon with another video about these bolts, testing them. So make sure you guys subscribe because I'm going to make a bunch of the ruby bolts and some of the other ones and test them at other places. I just have to continue to grind racks and get a middle leg so I can get some Ascension crossbows, or I could maybe borrow one from a set of Ascension crossbows from a friend of mine. And so subscribe and make sure you look out for the next video because I'm going to be testing these bolts at multiple places.